నమస్తే TSAT కార్యక్రమానికి స్వాగతం. ఈరోజు మనం పెడగాజీ ఆఫ్ ఎకనామిక్స్ గురించి తెలుసుకుందాం. నా పేరు డాక్టర్ నిర్మలా చావా, అసోసియేట్ ప్రొఫెసర్, సబ్జెక్ట్ ఎక్స్పర్ట్. ఈరోజు మనతో పాటు స్టూడియోలో దీపా గారు ఉన్నారు. దీపా, లెట్ us స్టార్ట్. పెడగాజీ ఆఫ్ ఎకనామిక్స్ పేపర్ ఎలా ఉంటుందో, ఎలాంటి ప్రశ్నలు వస్తాయో వివరంగా ఈరోజు వివరిస్తాం.
Yes ma'am, thank you so much ma'am. First మనము స్కీమ్ ఆఫ్ ఎగ్జామినేషన్ చూద్దామండి. ది స్కీమ్ ఆఫ్ ఎగ్జామినేషన్ ఫర్ ద పోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ట్రైన్డ్ గ్రాడ్యుయేట్ టీచర్ ఇన్ రెసిడెన్షియల్ ఎడ్యుకేషనల్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్ సొసైటీస్. TSATకి వెల్కమ్ అండి, అందరికీ స్వాగతము. అయితే 3 పేపర్స్ ఉంటాయండి. పేపర్ 1, పేపర్ 2, పేపర్ 3. మీ అందరికీ తెలిసిందే. పేపర్ 1 జనరల్ స్టడీస్, జనరల్ అబిలిటీస్ అండ్ బేసిక్ ప్రొఫిషియన్సీ ఇన్ ఇంగ్లీష్. అది 100 మార్క్స్కి ఉంటుంది. డ్యూరేషన్ వచ్చి 120 minutes. పేపర్ 2 వచ్చి పెడగాజీ ఆఫ్ కన్సర్న్ సబ్జెక్ట్. పేపర్ 3 సబ్జెక్ట్ డిసిప్లిన్ నాలెడ్జ్ కన్సర్న్ సబ్జెక్ట్ అనమాట. సో ఈ 2 పేపర్స్ కూడా 100 మార్క్స్కి. మళ్ళీ టైం అలొకేట్ చేసింది, డ్యూరేషన్ వచ్చింది 120 minutes. So the syllabus for the post of trained graduate teachers in residential educational institutions, paper 2. ఎకనామిక్స్లో మనం చూద్దాం. పెడగాజీ ఆఫ్ ఎకనామిక్స్ అంటే ఏంటి, అసలు ఎకనామిక్స్ ఎందుకు టీచ్ చేయాలి టీచర్,
ఇది ఎలా ఉపయోగపడుతుంది విద్యార్థికి అన్న విషయాల గురించి ఇప్పుడు మనం సవివరంగా తెలుసుకుందామండి. సో పెడగాజీ బేసిక్గా పెడగాజీ అంటే ఏంటి? ద వర్డ్ ఇట్ సెల్ఫ్ పెడగాజీ అనగా the term pedagogy was first used in 16th century. The term pedagogy originally comes from the Greek word pedagogia, which means child's tutor. Pedagogy is the science and art of education. The word pedagogy comes from the Greek word, as I said, pedagogos, which means teacher, and is compound of, and it's mixed of pedos, which means child, and agogos, which means leader. So hence it means leading the child or educating the child. It makes the relationship between the teacher and the learner much closer as they work together to determine the best learning experiences. So teacher or the lecturer, the one pedagogy meaning,
yes, so who is preparing for this exam, they should know the term pedagogy. So why is this pedagogy of economics important? In teaching economics, the lecturer or the student has to know that it increases the access to metacognitive learning strategies, which tends to correlate to longer term in embedding of ideas and concepts. Next is, it helps in delivering learning programs in ways that learners learn, make students best in engaging, and have greater propensities to retain more concepts in future. The more students learn, the greater the enjoyment of the process. The more open to self-learning they become better in the future. For example, when the lecturer or the teacher teaches the subject or the concept, when she delivers the concept, if the concept is being acquired by the student and the student has done very well in the exam, then ultimately the teacher will be very much happy, the lecturer will be very much happy. So it is a greater joy in teaching. So when learners take in information that is applicable in real world situations, they are more likely to see connections between the concept of learning and better results being obtained in work and school as well as in the college settings. So pedagogy of economics, coming to the pedagogy of economics, there are 10 chapters in the syllabus which are mentioned. The first chapter, the nature of social science and its historical development, including the contributions of important social scientists and thinkers given in the school textbooks. Importance of social science in school curriculum.
So, what is the importance? Why do we need to know as an aspirant? Why do we need to know about the social sciences related to economics? Economics is a branch of social sciences. So, we have to impart the values related to economy also. Economy. Okay, coming to the first one is values, aims and objectives of teaching social sciences. Second one is psychology of teaching and learning social sciences. Pedagogy of economics has this chapters also, which are fourth unit is social science curriculum. Fourth chapter is social science curriculum, construction, organization and development, approaches, methods and techniques of teaching social sciences with special reference to the topics in school curriculum. Sixth chapter is planning for effective instruction in social sciences, different plans and designing learning experiences. Seventh, it deals with this chapter, seventh chapter deals with learning resources and designing instructional material in social sciences, social science labs, teaching aids, textbooks, ICT in social studies. Eighth chapter, measurement and evaluation techniques. Different techniques are there. We will further discuss in brief. Ninth chapter deals with learning disabilities, difficulties and education of exceptional disabled children in social sciences. 10th chapter deals with everyday life, dealing with social sciences related with everyday experiences of the student and non-formal social sciences education. So, these are the 10 chapters given in the syllabus which you have to go through.
Some of the key concepts we would like to explain it today. What is economics, what is learning disabilities, what type of questions may come, Deepa will explain it.
So, the term economics come from ancient Greek word oikonomia, management of household, which means the administration. So, simply economics means it is management of household. So, in economics, the social science is concerned with basically production, distribution, consumption of goods and services. Economics deals with the study of various activities of man directed towards the acquisition of wealth and earnings of money. So, how this economics is been originated? It is an ancient Greek word oikonomia, which means management of household, administration, oikos plus nomos. Oikos means it is house, nomos means it is managing custom or law. Hence, it is rules of house or household. Economics deals with the study of various activities of man directed towards acquisition of wealth and earning of money, which I have said earlier also. In ancient Greece, Aristotle, the great philosopher, termed economics as a science of household management. The study of resource allocation, distribution and consumption of capital and investment, as well as management of the factors of production. So, what are these factors of production? Let us see the factors of production as well. These are the factors of production. There are basically four. One is land, labor, capital, entrepreneur. So, these are the capital. These are the, actually if you see, these are the factors of production. I have given this in a brief picturization method so that you will have it in your mind.
Okay, there are four factors in production.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, next.
So, we are living in a complex world which is faced with enormous economic challenges. The purpose of economic education is to create responsible citizens and effective decision makers. The importance of economic education goes far beyond the goal of improving an understanding of the basic principles of supply and demand and the workings of the economy. Economics can be taught by generating new knowledge with the help of exposing students to real life learning environment and experiences. Teaching economics in this 20th century requires teachers to implement effective technology, integrated teaching and learning and assessment strategies, not only to achieve cross-critical outcomes, but by providing ongoing support to the digital natives. The majority of teachers are stuck on traditional methods. You know what are the traditional methods? It is chalk and talk method, and another one is, for example, it is lecture method. So many students who take economics classes get very bored because then they don't show interest. They are uninterested in the material taught because of these outdated teaching methods. If the teachers were able to use more effective methods in the economics they teach, their students would be able to better comprehend the information, making them better citizens of not only in Telangana, India, but also in the world as well. The issue of that academics cannot teach the same way that were trained in decade ago, but need to make the paradigm shift to accommodate the diverse M generation, millennial generation student population in their teaching styles who enters universities globally. So now let's see what is M generation. This is only for to have knowledge of how the students are at present. This is to let you know that whatever we teach the students, it has to have some value in the future generation which they acquire from our teaching. So millennials means, millennials are generally marked by elevated use of and familiarity with the internet, mobile devices and social media, which is why they are sometimes termed digital natives. They are also known for being the first generation to have access to computers, cell phones and smartphones from a young age. Millennials value meaningful motivation. So we are going to teach the millennials.
These millennials are born with technology.
Yes,
they are with technology. By birth they are learning technology, they are born with technology. To teach these people, a teacher has to be prepared well. Okay, we have to focus more on such type of children nowadays. Next.
Exactly, ma'am. So coming to the syllabus now. The first chapter deals with the nature of social sciences and its historical development, including the contribution of important social scientists and thinkers given in the school curriculum, school textbooks, and importance of social sciences in school curriculum, which I have said. So economics, what is a part of economics? What is the role, what is the function of economics in school curriculum? Economics is the study of how individuals and societies choose to use the scarce resources that nature and previous generations have provided. So according to Lionel Robbins, economics is a science which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means which have alternative uses. So now what is ends? Ends means human wants, simply. In simple terms, scarce means resources with which these wants are fulfilled. It has features of science, like, what are the features of science? Features of science are, it studies causes and effects which are related with law of demand. It studies, like, science is capable of being measured, right? The measurement is in the terms of money here in economics. It has its own methodology of study, in example induction and deduction method. Economics is not a perfect science. Economists do not have uniform opinion about a particular event. the subject matter of economics is the economic behavior of man, which is highly unpredictable. Money, which is used to measure outcomes in economics, is itself a dependent variable. It is not possible to make correct predictions about the behavior of economic variables. Now, economics is science, but it is not the perfect science. It is science, yes. So, how do we say this? Which follows, it talks about what to do. For example, collection of facts, measurements, analysis, explanation, interpretation, hypothesis, interpretation and conclusion, verification and validity of laws. Economics as an art. Art is something which we have with emotions, right? So, it should suggest the remedies to solve the economic problems. The knowledge of economics is valuable. Economic problems are not pure economic in nature. Verification of economic theories, and economics is both science and art. It is science in its methodology and art in its application. So, who is the father of economics? You might face this question in the question paper. If it is written by now, I think every one of you might be knowing or aware of the father of economics. The father of economics is Adam Smith, who was a Scottish philosopher and economist. A pioneer of political economy, Adam Smith played a major role during the Scottish Enlightenment. This book, The Wealth of Nations, is regarded as the first modern work of economics and a forerunner of today's academic discipline of economics. Please remember this book. It's called as The Wealth of Nations,
which is written by
Adam
Smith. Yes.
You might get this question. Now,
there are different social scientists. We need to learn about Adam Smith, Karl Marx, then Amartya Sen, Joseph Stiglitz, then Keynes. Many more are there. Read out, Deepa.
Yes, ma'am. So, these are the books which have been written by economists. This is only to show you that this is only to have a conception, like you should know what are the books which have been written by the economists, because you are going to appear for this exam. Unless and until you know this, you can't write the answer. So, the books are Wealth of Nations, Adam Smith. It is written by Adam Smith. The Invisible Hand, written by Adam Smith. The Theory of Moral Sentiments, written by Adam Smith. The Money Game, Adam Smith. So, these are the books which are mentioned here. Das Kapital, it is also one of the important book which is written by Karl Marx. So, Principles of Economics is written by Alfred Marshall. Principles of Political Economy, Thomas Malthus. So, these are the books which you can refer further. Coming to the second chapter, aims and objectives of teaching economics. What are the aims? Why do we need to teach economics, as we spoke earlier? Now we are coming to the objectives, main goals of teaching economics. Objectives are to obtain knowledge on the nature and scope of economics. The aspirant should know and understand the aims and objectives of teaching economics, should know the significance of teaching economics, also should explore the values of teaching economics. So, teacher should help. Basically, you have to read in such a point of view, like you should help, the teacher or the lecturer should help the students in understanding the impact and consequences of British rule on the Indian economy. The students will be able to acquire knowledge of various economic terms like definitions of economics and economy, capitalistic, socialistic and mixed economy, developed and developing economy. They have to understand the various causes of population explosion, consequences and various remedial measures, especially in our country, in India. So this teacher, the lecturer, has to create awareness about institutional setup and main sectors of Indian economy, like private and public sectors. They have to enable them to understand the various causes of poverty, unemployment, price rise, inflation, and their remedial measures, as well as the economic explosion of consumers, rights of consumers in the society. To know the importance of foreign trade in Indian economy, its volumes and composition and direction of export and import. So this is the chapter 3. Coming to the chapter 3. In chapter 3, the psychology of teaching and learning social sciences is mentioned. Why do we need to understand the psychology of teaching social sciences, which is related to economics? Basically, to know the objectives of teaching social studies, we have already seen it in the previous explanation. So in this chapter, we need to know the psychology of the student. How do we need to know? By learning the strategies, teaching learning strategies, by knowing the approaches of teaching. There are different approaches in teaching, and in interdisciplinary approach in teaching social sciences, the approaches are dialectical approach, biographical approach, scientific approach, postmodernist approach, nationalist approach, and dramatization. Chapter 4 talks about social sciences curriculum, construction, organization, and development. So why this curriculum has to be constructed to the student, keeping in the point of view of the present situation of the organizational developments, economy, whatever is happening in the world especially. So the curriculum is built in such a way that child will be able to understand. So you need to know the curriculum, how it is being constructed, organized, and how it is being developed. The criteria for developing social science curriculum should be known by you. So what is the difference between curriculum and syllabus? Syllabus is just a unit of a course or subject curriculum. Curriculum can be termed as a combination of syllabus, course design, class timetable, as well as lesson plans for the subject. So syllabus is a list of topics that will be covered in a course, while the curriculum is a plan or outline that shows how these topics will be taught. Chapter 5 talks about approaches. As we saw the approaches, now it is methods and techniques of teaching social sciences with special reference to the topic in the school curriculum. These are, for example, storytelling method, supervised method, textbook method, source method, lecture method, demonstration method, dramatization method, team teaching method, problem solving method, project method, and discussion method. So chapter 6, coming to chapter 6, it is about planning for effective instruction in social sciences. Different plans and designing learning. How is it planned? It is through unit approach, concentric approach, topical approach. Now what are these plans? How is this lesson plan done? Year plan, unit plan, lesson plan, Herbartian lesson plan, instructional objectives. These are the different types of plans. Now, what is a unit? As we spoke about just the word unit plan. A unit is a large subdivision of subject matter with a common fabric of knowledge. The unit is not blocks of subject matter, but it is composed of both method and content. This unit organizes instruction and increases the probability that instruction will be presented in a cohesive, meaningful and logic way. A properly planned unit integrates many types of activities, some of which provide new information and others help pupils evaluate and retain this information. Units of breakup, it is a course into which a meaningful segments are formed, and then this is again into a lesson plan. So a teacher has to plan her teaching, a lecturer has to plan her teaching, how to teach in such a way. If you are aware of these techniques, approaches, methods, you will be able to write the exam very well. Chapter 7. Coming to chapter 7, it speaks about learning resources and designing instructional materials in social sciences labs, teaching aids, textbooks, ICT in social sciences. So ICT in social sciences, internet. You need to know about the present digital market. What are the apps which are being used to develop? For example, AI, artificial intelligence, is also coming up now. It is already there in the market. You should know more about it. And educational softwares, benefits of IT for teachers, and open access journals. Now, social science lab, what are the things which are there in social science lab? It is a collection. In social science lab, it is totally a collection of replicas, globes, maps, all kinds of things which are related to experiment in social sciences. So it is important because they improve the quality of education by providing real experiences to students. The use of social studies laboratory can provide several benefits, including making it easier for students to understand the material and improving their attitudes and skills by working together. So these social science labs includes maps, globes, timelines, models, charts, slide albums, flags, goods, agricultural products, minerals, meteorological instruments, survey instruments, audio-visual aids, and reference books. Magazines also may be included, yes. Chapter 8. Coming to the chapter 8, it talks about measurement and evaluation in social sciences, continuous and comprehensive evaluation, CCE model, tools and techniques of evaluation, achievements and diagnostic tests. What is continuous comprehensive evaluation? It is an evaluation really, it is an integral part of the teaching learning process. As a social studies teacher, if you evaluate your students in the beginning of the course and know their abilities and teach according to that level, your teaching will be likely to affect. It will be more helpful for them. During the course of instruction, evaluation provides a feedback to the teacher and he or she can modify his teaching methods accordingly and explain further the concept which are not understood by the students. The teacher may evaluate students unit-wise, periodically, and also may conduct at the end of the course a comprehensive test, formative assessment. Thus, evaluation is a continuous process. There are two types like formative assessment and summative assessments. Tools and techniques of evaluation. There are 6 primary empirical tools that are used by social scientists, which are surveys, interviews, focus groups, field observations, experimentation, and existing data. Achievement and diagnostic tests. So, what are these tools? As we saw earlier, how are these tools helpful? Tools of evaluation in social studies, considering the nature of learning outcomes in social studies, it can be said that a teacher has to make use of variety of evaluation tools to measure learning in different content areas of social studies. Achievement tests are very useful. While providing instruction, the teacher will be required to make use of oral tests also. Whether what student write as the answer, whatever students writes, so teacher has to evaluate. So oral testing also can be done. In most other situations, achievement tests are quite useful. These are mainly objective type, short answer type and essay type. Coming to chapter 9, learning disabilities, difficulties and education of exceptional disabled children in social sciences. Now in this we have exceptionality, impairment, disability, handicapped. The teacher has to understand why she is studying this course, why she has to get this job. Before getting job, you need to understand in the class, in a set of classroom, in the classroom there will be many students. You will be having a 40 or 50 in the class. The lecturer will have 20 or 30 might be. It will be mostly inclusive classroom. So different kinds of children will be there. You need to understand and cater to their needs. So specific learning disability, SLD, comprises a heterogeneous groups of disorders with the main impairment being cognitive processing. This leads to challenges in academic performance and has psychosocial implications. The National Education Policy 2020 NEP is a policy formulated by the Government of India to promote education in India. The policy aims to provide quality education to all students in India, including those with disabilities. It is inclusive classroom. National Education Policy 2020 aims to ensure that no child loses any opportunity to learn and excel because of the circumstances of birth or background. Special emphasis will be given to socially and economically disadvantaged groups, SEDGs, which includes gender, socio-culture and geographical identities and disabilities. The policy also aims to ensure universal access to all levels of schooling from pre-primary school to grade 12. Ensuring quality early education, childhood care and education for all children between 3 to 6 years. The new curricular and pedagogical structure is, this is important, you need to know this, which is 5 plus 3, 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. No hard separations between art and science, between curricular and extracurricular activities, between vocational and academic streams. Now this is the last chapter, which is chapter 10, Social Sciences and Everyday Life, Non-Formal Social Sciences. Social studies in everyday life, we know about it. Daily we face the situations every day, right? So need for non-formal education. This would include the deliberate attempts of parents and elders in the family and community to help the young ones grow and adapt themselves to the environment. Informal education would also include all incidental learnings that takes place while at work, college or play area, grounds, playgrounds or during travels, as well as spontaneous learnings through films, radios and televisions, through internets also. So this is informal and formal education. The approaches here, there is communication. Informal is interpersonal. Informal, teacher communicates. Informal, the location is home or any place outside the home. Informal, it is classroom. Modality, informal, it is experience, and here the formal, it is explicit. The paradigm is here propositional in informal and acquisition in formal. And how this assessment is done, it is in the informal, it is gathered by progress of the student. Here in the formal, it is defined. As I said, for example, it is formative assessment or summative assessment. Pedagogical approach is informal is learner centered. Informal it is teacher centered mostly. So
we have 10 chapters, Deepa. In all these chapters, 10 chapters. First chapter, how that weightage has been given. Most weightage is given to chapters 2, 5 and 8. Okay. Second chapter, 5th chapter, 8th chapter. From these chapters, at least 15 questions will come from each chapter. That major contribution of these chapters will be 45 marks. Okay. Next, first chapter, 4th chapter, 6th chapter, 7th chapter, it covers 40 marks. Okay. You have to give more importance to all these 7 chapters. The remaining 3 chapters, you will get some questions only, few questions, mostly probably 5, 5, 5 in each. Okay. 3rd chapter, 9th chapter and 10th chapter. Let us see what type of questions, pattern of question paper we will have in our papers.
Yes, ma'am. So the questions are the following types. General MCQs, multiple choice questions will be 15 questions. Direct questions are 20. Matching, it's 10 questions will be given to you. Negative statements are 20 questions. Multiple choice, multiple correct answers, it is 20 questions. Beyond textbooks is 5 questions. Assertion and reasoning 10 questions. Now, first question from economics, pedagogy of economics, is the evolution of social science as a subject could be traced back to which century? First option is given as 20th century, second 19th century, third 18th century, fourth 16th century. It is?
Yeah.
The answer would be 18th century.
It is easy question, MCQ, it is direct question, you can answer it well. Okay, these are direct questions, multiple choice questions, 15 questions will be there. If you are thorough with your content material, if your concepts are clear for you, it is very easy to answer. You can score full marks over here. Next type will see, Deepa.
Next question is the most important aim of social science education in school curriculum. What is the most important aim? Either it is citizenship education, second disciplinary value, third inquiry minds, fourth is conceptual understanding. The answer here is citizenship education. Citizenship education is one of the most important aims of social science education in school curriculum, as it helps students develop an understanding of their rights and responsibilities as citizens. It also helps them an understanding of political system and how it works.
This is also direct question. So 20 questions will be there. These are also very, very important. You have to go through correctly all the concepts very clearly. Then it is 100% sure you will answer all such type of questions, direct questions and MCQs.
Yes, ma'am. Next question is, which of the following is not a shift factor of demand curve? Here in the question itself, it is a negative question. If you see it and read it, focus, it is not. Which of the following is not a shift factor of demand curve? Options given here are, the first one is price of substitutes, second one price of the commodity under observation, third income of consumer, fourth taste and preferences of consumer. So what would you choose? Here the answer is price of the commodity under observation. The factors that cause the demand curve to shift from right to left is changes in taste and preferences of consumers, population, income, prices of substitute or complement goods, expectations about future conditions and prices, trends and tastes, size and composition of the population. The price of a commodity is not a shift factor of the demand curve. A change in price does not shift the curve but represents a movement along it. So the answer here is price of the commodity under observation. Next is, you will be facing 10 questions related to match the following. Which of the following you need to match here? The learning objectives, statements of objectives. Which of the following matching learning objectives, statements of objectives? We have in the set A, recalling, understanding, evaluating and creating. In set B, we have students will be able to state types of resources. Second is, students will be able to differentiate different types of resources. Third is, students will be able to suggest ways of conserving resources. Fourth is, students will be able to define meaning of resources. The option here is first option. So next is, which of the following method is not suggested by RTE Act 2009 for teaching social sciences at primary level? Please understand the question. Before answering and bubbling, go through the question first, understand the question. Here, which of the following method is not suggested by the RTE Act 2009 for teaching social sciences at primary level? First one is learning through activities. Second one is child-centered method. Third is discovery method. Fourth is lecture method. Obviously, fourth will be the answer here. To teach primary level, the fourth is not suggested by RTE Act 2009. Which of the following, next question is, which of the following is the best approach to teach social science at primary level? Unit approach, first one. Second, correlation approach. Third, integrated approach. Fourth is subject-centered approach. Here the answer is 3, integrated approach. Next question, the best teaching technique for slow learners is group discussion. Second is brainstorming. Third option given here is individualized instruction. Fourth is assigned method. So the best teaching technique for slow learners, what do you think, which one will be the correct answer? The answer is individualized instruction. Next question is, who among the following is associated with the work The Tragedy of the Commons? The third one is answer, third, which is Garrett Hardin. So here, if you are not aware of the thinkers, economists, you will not be able to answer the question. So according to the concept, if numerous independent individuals should enjoy unfettered access to a finite valuable resource, example a pasture, they will tend to overuse it and may end up destroying its value together. To exercise voluntary restraint is not a rational choice for any one individual. If he did, the others would merely supplement him, yet the predictable result is a tragedy for all. This has been said by Garrett Hardin. So the metaphor is the title of a 1968 essay by ecologist Garrett Hardin. And another example, he cited a water course which was all free to pollute, but the principal concern of his essay was overpopulation of the planet. This is an example which I have given you, the economist Garrett Hardin and his quotations. So things to do, ma'am. Okay, so the things to do, what are the things you have to do in the examination hall to get 90 to 95%? You need to refer academic standards books which are from 6th standard to 10th standard, as well as know about the economists, thinkers and their contributions, give mock tests, collect the previous question papers. If the question papers are not available, comparatively you will have the other question papers related to the subject. So TGT, PGT question papers are available. You can also go through those question papers. Question papers are important. So here I would like to suggest you to practice well, practice with perseverance. In the examination hall, you need to first read the question and understand the question. You have to stay calm and you need to understand the question first. Speed and accuracy, please don't forget the speed and accuracy. You will be given 100 questions and 120 minutes. So you need to be speed as well as accurate. Think logically and eliminate wrong answers. For this you need to go through with practice. You need to have thorough preparation. So if you focus on the goal, if you don't look back, I hope you will be able to achieve. Whatever the syllabus is there, please take out the printout and ponder on each and every aspect in the syllabus. There are 10 chapters which are being given in the syllabus. Related to economics, there will be many questions which will be asked. So you should be perfectly thorough with the questions, and if you are thorough and if you practice well, you will be able to achieve the goal. There is nothing impossible which you can do. Just aim it and achieve it.
Okay. So we have all 10 chapters. In those 10 chapters, first chapter is having social thinkers, nature of social sciences or economics,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
So you have to go thoroughly, read all the concepts which are given in the textbook, and your methodology books also you have to study properly. And also social thinkers, whomever is given in your textbook, and some questions beyond textbook also will come. Okay. So current economy, what is the budget cost, or how much budget allocated for the agriculture, such type of questions are beyond textbook questions, that you need to read some journals, papers, current affairs and get that information, prepare thoroughly for that also. So all the questions may be from the textbooks or your content, but there are some questions beyond textbook also they will be asking. Some assertion and reasoning type questions also are there. Previously they have not asked in previous paper, but we may expect that assertion and reasoning, some statement they will be giving, and those reasons they will give whether it is correct or not, that statement is correct or not. Then if you go to second unit, third unit, approaches, methods, difference between syllabus and curriculum, all these you need to learn. Don't leave any method, including dramatization. Previously everything is teacher centered, now we came to child centered. What are the activities we can plan for? All those you need to think and answer in such type of statements and questions. Multiple answers will be there, multiple answers question where you need to think logically, eliminate wrong answers first, then you have to answer it. Okay, that there you apply your logic. Then year plan, unit plan, these are all direct questions, but you need to think and answer in such statements where there is given negative statements, not is given in the sometimes in the answer, sometimes in the question statement, not, which is not correct. Choose the not correct one, not the correct answer. Not means negative, which is not included in this. Okay, for example, what are the states which are not following NEP 2020? If I ask those questions, they will be giving list of all those states, and you have to identify. First you should know which are the states not following this NEP 2020. I hope I am clear with that type of questions, not questions how to write. Then multiple correct answers. There also you need to answer by seeing all the options which are all correct. Okay, multiple correct answers. Those are all critically you have to think, then eliminate wrong answers. So that is how you need to answer. Then thinkers, it is very important, as I told, methods, approaches. Then what else, Deepa? Tools and techniques, different types of questions or objective type of questions, MCQs, all those tools and techniques, how you are going to evaluate a student. That chapter also very important. Then we have learning disabilities. Now inclusive classroom we are talking about. You should know the abilities of the child and disabilities of the child, where child is able to understand the concepts clearly. Sometimes some children are having lacking some kind of problems they have, they are lacking some abilities. What are they? Dysgraphia, dyslexia, dyscalculia, these are the terminology which they use to classify those children. Those are all learning disabilities. So you need to concentrate what are the main characteristics of those children, learning disabled children, how we can include them in the inclusive classroom. Inclusive classroom is nothing but including all the children irrespective of their caste, creed, age, all those we have to include them in the classroom. That is inclusive education. So more focus you need to do on inclusive education and also learning resources and methods, techniques and evaluation tools and techniques. Then year plan, unit plan and planning for effective curriculum. Curriculum also very much important. Yes. There are different types of curriculum. Yes, Deepa, what are they?
It is totally depending on the syllabus. I mean
syllabus,
curriculum
yes.
Construction, organization and development. That is
according
the
to
syllabus,
the child's age.
According to psychology. And there are basically negative markings also. So if you know the answer, then only you opt for the question, you opt for the answer. If you are not aware of the answer, please don't mark it. There are marks which you will lose 1/4 of the marks in totally. If you lose marks, then it will be you will be back, you will not be able to get 90 to 95 marks.
That's why please don't answer total paper. If you are not aware of certain questions, if you are not sure of that concept, please leave such type of questions. I hope you have understood well about all the explanations which we have given, how to answer such type of questions. Okay, so MCQs, direct questions and not questions, multiple answer questions. Okay, then match the following, direct statements will be there, some are the beyond textbook. I think you need to follow academic books, all the Telugu Academy book and also NCERT syllabus go through, and also some current affairs, GK and economy papers are available, no? Those also you need to go through, then you will come to know what is the Indian economy and how much budget is allocated for education in Telangana. Such type of questions also we may expect. Be clear, and clear means you have to read thoroughly all the questions, then answer very well. When you are sure of answering it, then you have to answer. Otherwise, please don't attempt such type of questions because of negative marking. 4 wrongs means if you are writing 4 wrong answers, then you will be losing 1 mark. So whatever marks you gained also you are losing. So you need to answer perfectly. Okay, be cool and calm, read the question paper thoroughly. Then you need to avoid wrong answers first, which are not correct statements. All such type of thinking you require. Only maintenance of time. When you are sure about your concepts, you can easily attempt all these questions. All the best for your future. Okay, thank you, Deepa.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.